because, there's not a lot of oxygen and you're like panicking. And the thing is, you want to go down quickly. But he said, no, stay there. You stay on that level and get used to it and starts to breathe, no panic. And then after a while, you get used to it and the pain and the heartbreak and the doubts, they go away because like, oh yeah, okay, I'm getting used to it. And people around you, some people around you will be on the same level and also learn to adapt with you. But some other will like, no, go down and pull you down. And they said, no, stay on that level. That's what Will said to me when I was really drained. I've been crying for an hour up on set and said, whatever's going through your head, it's going to be all right. I feel you. So
it helps having him motivate you. And
yeah, it was like a godsend. There must be a sign, something from the universe or God that from all the stars you could work with, it's him. It's motivational speaker Will helping because he was sometimes we would have lunch meetings and I'll talk about the movie, but he would talk about life and how how to heal yourself and as around that period that I got to know you, a person very dear to me talked about you and she said, you should listen to Jay Shetty and I was like, who's that guy? And like. You just got to do your own stuff. Don't listen to all that's things. And then I started to listen to you, and it was like medicine. Yeah. It was like, whoa, what is that? It's like it's as if where were you all my life, Jay? I needed you all my life, and it opened up a whole world to me of the healing and growing and on the spiritual level. Because I always thought. When I achieve something, and same for you, you achieve something and then you're going to be happy and then you're going to be good. Like, oh yeah, okay, we're struggling. We have no money, but one day we're going to make our first movie and then we're going to be fulfilled. And then it doesn't happen. We make our movie, but you're not fulfilled. Then, oh yeah, we're going to make a better movie. And then, oh, we're going to go to Hollywood and then we're going to make Bad Boys. And when you make Bad Boys for Life with those 2 stars and you're on the top of the game and still you're not happy, you crash and then you got to find something else. You're going to find something deeper. And listening to you...
It was so funny that Adil is like, before you, before Bad Boys, he was like totally not motivational. He didn't like all the quotes. He didn't like all those deep meanings. He was like trashing every every time I saw, because I was like into it on Instagram and I started to like getting to the podcast and I was like, and all of a sudden I see Adil like listening to you and I'm like, you're listening to Jay Shetty?
Well, for me, it was like when I started listening to you, it kept it a secret. So when we met, I didn't tell him because I was, he's going to say I'm some crazy, And then when he saw the picture that you and I took on Instagram, he said, you know Jay Shetty? You're a fan too? It's like, you kept
I was not telling him because I was going through my process.
Yeah. And it's like, it's crazy that we talk about everything, but you were our secrets.
That is the best story about me I've ever heard. That is amazing. I love that. That's hilarious. Thanks for sharing that.
Okay.
My spirituality, because we're Muslims, it's also been a strong force throughout our throughout the pain, and every time when you don't make it, you just accept the fact that God has a plan for you, and that's something that I always hold on to. Like you want to achieve the dream, but imagine I did everything I can. That's the most important thing. At the end of my life, I have to talk to myself and say, you did everything for your dreams. And if it didn't work out, it's just the way. And if you believe in that, you accept everything. You start to accept everything.
It's in God's hands or in the universe's hands.
Whatever spirituality you have, I think it's important to have.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
In the journey to your dreams.
And you see that in so many incredible people's lives, their faith and belief in God or the universe was such a important thing for them. Look at the people that made the biggest changes in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
They all had that.
Yes.
And so you can see how important it is for all of us in the way, because you both are change makers. Like you're filmmakers, but you're change makers. Wow. Because you're trying to make films that change people's lives. You're not just trying to make films.
No, yeah.
Like messages are so important. Tell us about, so you talked about the advice that Will was giving you, which is beautiful to hear, because I know the same. Like Will's so philosophical. We had that conversation that we were together at, like it was brilliant. But it's like, tell us about the advice that you had to give Will and Martin. Tell us about that process of when you're sitting with like, like you respect these guys. Like I had to make that trailer with them, right? And like for me, you weren't there that day. I needed your help. Like when I got the call to be on that trailer. So it was the production company that Sony was working, whatever, and they were like, we want you to be in this trailer, and we want you to come in, and we want you to be a life coach or a therapist for Will and Martin, and it's kind of like couples therapy. And they were very respectful. They were like, you know, like, we don't want to make coaching look bad, or like, are you? And I was like, no, this is great, it's fun. And you know, I was like holding the phone going, this is amazing. I was so excited. And so I want
to put that scene in the movie.
I know. I'm like, why was it? No. And I was so nervous because, you know, I'm like, and I've spent time with Will before, but I was so nervous to like be in an acting setting with him. I was like, what do I know, man? And so I went to acting class for 4 days in a row.
For real?
Yeah, 2 hours.
You did it really well, by the way.
Thank you, man. Thank you. But I went every day to acting class because I was like, I can't go in there and not feel comfortable and confident.
Yes, exactly.
And it's just like, I went in there and I was like, wow, like this is gonna, you know, it's when you've looked up, the same with me. I grew up on Fresh Prince, my favorite show of all time. I'd watched it 1,000,000 times every episode. So I feel everything you guys are saying. How hard is it to then go in there and then have to give advice, give feedback, give direction as directors? Tell us about that.
Well, it's, you know, I was 7 years old when the first Bad Boys was made. And now you got to 25 years later, you're there, and you have Will Smith and Martin Lawrence who play these characters who know everything, who know the industry, 30 years in the biz, and 30 years, that's our age. And then
we're just two rats from Belgium, you know?
We don't know. And then you're gonna have to say to Will and Martin, look, you could do this better. And they could easily say, I've been doing this for 30 years, you know? And they never did that. They never said that because...
Unbelievable how humble they are.
Yeah. Wow. They would ask us, Will and Martin, so how do you think? Is it good? And we in the beginning were like, you're Will and Martin, of course it's good. We're not gonna, say anything. But the thing is that they chose us. They chose us to be their directors. So they want you... They want you to direct them. And yeah, sometimes Will, in the first week, Will tested us.
He tested us.
There was something he didn't want to do. He didn't want to wear the badge, the cop badge on the chain. Okay. For some reason, he didn't want. And every time he had
for us, it was super cool to have the Miami badge,
because of the second movie, they have that. And then, every time he had a good argument, so a filmmaker's argument, like a scene, said, no, we're at the bar, we're not on an intervention, so no reason to do it. So, okay. Another scene, he said, yeah, we're just walking here. We're not in an intervention. No reason to do it. All right. And there was only one scene left. If we don't have that, it's never in the movie. Yeah. And it was an intervention scene. So we go to Will, and it was the first week of shoot. So, where's your badge on the chain? And we'll say, oh, no, we're not going to do that because what? It's an intervention scene. And then he said, in front of the whole crew, everybody, this is so unnatural. This is so wrong on so many levels. And we're like, and then heartbeat goes fast. He's like, well, he's talking. He's like, he's not agreeing with you, pretty angry. And then this is wrong. This is wrong. And then Martin can wear it. Martin, I would wear the badge. Well, he can wear it. Then no, it's both or nobody. 45 minutes, and after 45 minutes, you got to wear the badge. Well, and it's okay. I will do it for you, only for you, but know that it's wrong. It's so
and the
wrong.
The whole crew was looking at us, and I felt so bad. Yeah. I was like, maybe he doesn't have to wear it.
And no. We won. Let's keep the badge. And we never knew why, but I think he did that to test us. Like, really, are you guys? We're fanboys, but are you also going to be directors?
Yeah.
And
that process was the whole time. Even with the script, if we had an idea, he went like, why? And like asking so many questions. We had to normally we think till a certain point, but he pushes us to go all the way.
Like, why, as a filmmaker's creative standpoint, do you want to do that? And if you really, as a creative, you want to do that, he fights for you. He falls on the sword for your ideas. So that was really great.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's great to hear. And this is what I love about this conversation that we're having, is that people see getting the movie seems like an achievement, but actually the challenge starts there.
Yeah.
Because you're now in the big league. You're now working with people that you admire. And on top of all of that, you've got to realize the fact that now you're being judged for real directing and real filmmaking on a high level, which seems like a high challenge. How did you guys prepare yourself to learn how to be open to recognizing that now the challenge starts and still allow your creativity? Like, when you were doing Black, you had a lot of guerrilla filmmaking, you were taking a lot of risks. You're like, how did you let that energy stay, or did you actually have to change energy?
Well,
we had our cameraman, Robrecht Havard, great guy who did all our student short movies and all our.
You still work with him?
Yeah.
It looks. That's also a story.
We basically said to Sony, okay, we only have one requirement. Our DOP, director of photography, our cameraman, it's Rob, is the guy who did all the Belgian movies. Without him, we don't do the movie. And we were prepared to turn the movie down if they don't let us.
We said we ain't gonna do the movie without Rob.
And all of a sudden, this 15-year-old looking guy who never made a big Hollywood movie makes $100 million movie with these great stars. And that was...
So you have to imagine as a studio and Jerry Bruckheimer, and you have two young guys who never made a big Hollywood movie. Our biggest budget is like 3 million and this is like 100 million. And then the cameraman is also somebody who never did this, like
who's in charge for all the image. It's also the same guy like us. But having us three basically helped us in eventually thinking it's the same as making a movie in Belgium. Because the first couple of weeks you don't breathe, you don't sleep. You're like
it's like dead or alive.
It's also weird because it's like a dream. It's weird to be on set of a big Hollywood movie with like 250 people
and being in a movie yourself.
Like this iconic. We always thought this is like an episode of Punk'd. Michael Bay's gonna come and say, it was just a joke. It was just for a TV show, actually, guys. I mean, because it's like you don't fit, you don't belong there. It's like you enter the making of or something, but the thing is, the eyes of the world on this movie, whereas when you do a Belgian movie, it's only the eyes of some Belgians. If you tank, nobody's gonna know. But there, if you crash hard.
And there are so many fans in the world that grew up with that. You don't wanna.
And the thing is that it's like as if you're in the war or you gotta jump in the water, and either you're gonna like sink or you gotta swim. Even you think I cannot swim all that ocean. You're gonna have to learn and do that, and before you know, when you do that switch, not thinking too much, actually, not overthinking, not overthinking.
Yeah, but you guys broke through imposter syndrome because that's what so many people struggle with. That when you finally made it into what you always wanted, and now you're like, oh, maybe I'm not actually meant to be at this table. Like maybe we don't deserve to be here. Like what makes us deserve to be here? What made you trust the process? Like what made you feel like you were like, no, actually, we've worked for this and we're going to deliver something. Because when you watch the movie, I mean, there are so many great parts in the movie where I'm like I love the part where you think it's a funeral, but it's the wedding. Right? I love in the beginning where you think it's a car chase, but it ends up being that they run into the hospital. Like to me, like all those moments are genius and they're brilliant and they're shot so well that you completely are in and you think it's something. And I'm like, you definitely owned it.
You
owned it. Like there was no part of me, if I didn't know you guys, let's say I didn't know you guys, and I went and watched the movie, I would not have known that someone who'd never made $100 million budget movie made it. I would just never have known. Like you wouldn't even think of it. Right? But that's why I'm happy I know you guys. Because it just makes me believe even more that imposter syndrome is just a belief set.
Exactly. It's a thing, I mean, the imposter syndrome would be just once in a while. Like we would look at each other and look at the DP and he said, it's weird that we're here, right? And you look at the monitor, you have Will and Martin and Jerry is like, whoa, that's some freaky dick. And then it goes away right away because you got to work. And the thing is that you got to power through that, but also it's the crew and the cast that's around you, the trust that you get from people that become family. And when you feel like you're between friends and between family, that is what really helped us the most going through that imposter syndrome, feeling safe and feeling the trust and the love of everybody around you. And that's the same thing with you. We were scared of coming to the podcast because we're big fans, huge fans of your podcast. We listened to that and we're like, whoa, how deep everybody's speaking, how smart, and we're like intellectual lightweights. But talking now with you is like, we feel like, bro.
Yeah, we're family.
We're family. And that's what helps us going, that trust and that love and that caring and respect that helps us, just go with the flow, basically.
Yeah.
How many days I had doubts. Like I was thinking, I am totally not good so many times. But it's the people that surround you is like a super important aspect in this process.
And you guys are natural storytellers. Like even when you're telling me the story of the actors and people behind the scenes, like you guys are brilliant. Like that is, I felt your energy when we met, and when I wanted you on the podcast is because I wanted people to feel that and I love how genuinely vulnerable you are about being excited about what you're excited about.
Yeah.
Because I think what happens sometimes is sometimes people make it or go somewhere and then they act like all cool about it.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh yeah, it's just, you know, it's just meant to be.
Yeah, it's just
like, I remember, like, for me, it was things like, first time when I went on Ellen, like that for me was just like, I was like, flipping Ellen, like watch my interview and want me to come on the show. Like, that's so cool. Like, and it's like, it's so fun to celebrate stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes we get scared of celebrating because we think it makes us look less.
Yeah.
But actually, it's just, you're right. We're just kids who just are living these incredible lives. And I love feeling like that.
You know, I listened to the podcast with Jada and it was like, oh my God, he's interviewing Jada. And I'm like, oh, but we know Jada. So that's the vibe that we have.
And but I like seeing it with you guys.
Yeah.
And I want people to experience that too, that you don't ever have to pretend to be someone you're not, or you never have to lose that excitement and that, you know.
Authenticity has always been something very important to us, and we did everything to keep the same authenticity in a Hollywood movie, because we could have done maybe any action movie, but the thing about Bad Boys is that these two characters, it's us. It's a retold with this movie, a very personal story, what it means to be like the ride together, die together, what it means sometimes when, you know, you're almost on the verge of a breakup, you know, you don't want to do the same thing, you have another vision. Sometimes there were periods where we didn't want to make movies together. Like, this is over, man. I got another vision. And in the end, it comes together. And by reading that script of those two characters, we felt like this is us.
Yeah, but I think every human being in the world searches that same connection with somebody, that friendship, that if times go up, that you have somebody having your back. And that friendship that Mike and Marcus has is so universal and so beautiful and so personal at the same time. It
was a very personal story. This $100 million action movie.
What were the other messages? I think that's important, because you've focused on making movies that have messages before this. I felt when I was watching, there were a ton of messages like the one you just shared. What were other messages that you were trying to, that, you know, maybe we need to watch it again and notice that? And what were some of the messages that were big for both of you?
Well, it was, you know, working with Will is like the grow or die message, basically. Yeah. Even though, I mean, when you make all movies have a certain message, and you don't want to like message, you know, because it becomes cheesy. But, you know, it's like the underlying theme, and it's you want to have an arc where people evolve. And this Mike Lowry character, he's at the start of the movie a certain way. He wants to remain strong and young, and wants to remain the image of Mike Lowry, and forgets how to become just himself. The normal Mike Lowry, and
the fact that he's growing.
He's growing. He's
older,
and it can be a weakness. Weakness is not actually really a weakness. Being able to show a weakness, a vulnerability, is a strength. And that is something that he learns. And that is something that we too, when we were, you know, starting, because when you're Moroccan, you're very like macho culture. You're mad. You know, if you keep this like in a kind of cocoon,
you
or
cling on that thing, and you don't let it go.
Basically, you break yourself, you crash. And that is something that we learned, you know, during the making of this movie, where we all crashed eventually. It's like, you know, you gotta let it go, and you gotta find ways to grow and to heal yourself, and allow yourself to be vulnerable and to be open, and
you really changed.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that before. Bad Boys really changed him.
Yeah, this experience
as a person, his soul really changed during the
you guys really disrupted. I feel like, you know, just what you're just saying right now. Like, that's what I noticed in the movie when I was watching it, that you were able to show the weakness of the character we all grew up admiring or wanting to be like. And showing that it was actually better for him to be vulnerable to that, rather than just continue to pretend. And I thought that was really, it was bold as well. It was a bold move, but it was also very culturally relevant right now to show that in a man and being more vulnerable.
It's very relatable, you know? So.
Very relatable for all of us. And I really feel you guys have disrupted the industry, because even when I hear you say stuff like, oh, we're not going to do this if it's not our DP, right? Like, if you're not bringing your crew with you. And I'm excited to see, and I don't think you guys are ever going to change, because you're just who you are. Like, I'm excited to see how you continue to represent diversity, how you continue to tell stories of people that are not told enough. What kind of stories are exciting you right now in general? Not just the ones that you're making movies on, but have you heard any stories recently or read any books or anything like that you're like, oh, I'm fascinated by this right now?
But there's a lot of stories that are, you know, obviously now in this time in culture, it's the great opportunity to tell stories of people of different ethnicities, different backgrounds, you know, stories that you didn't usually see that much, you know, on the big screen. And for us, because it's important, we're Muslims, we're Arabs, we're Moroccans, we're Africans, you know, things like that are very important to us. Just as fans, seeing that there are more and more female filmmakers, you know, this year it was a lot of women filmmakers, and it's going to be more and more in every kind of genre. Just seeing that evolution is so exciting and interesting.
To be a part of that,
to be a part of this new generation of filmmakers that's so diverse. And
to see Parasite in a total, not in English language. That's
win the Oscars.
That's history. That's a milestone for cinema. It's just us. We don't want to make movies only in English. We want to tell stories. If it's in China, we want to keep it in Chinese language, or in Germany, it has to be in German. So
the fact that it's very diverse and very exciting. These kind of stories, that's what we're looking for now. And I mean, we would love to make movies back in Belgium as well. You know, about our community and alternate that with American movies. And in a very naive way, we believe that movies can save the world.
Yeah,
and
I'm with you.
Yeah, exactly. For us, there are two reasons. One reason is just as filmmakers, when we did Bad Boys, you have 250 people on the crew. And nowadays we all say there's people don't agree anymore, people are polarized and all of that. But we gotta say that when you make a movie, you got 250 very different people for different backgrounds, different ethnicity, different history, different political views, their religion. They're all super different. On the paper, they would say they never will get along.
Yeah, they're like totally opposite.
It would be war. And on our movie, they're all together like a family, working for the same goal, working for one vision, and we're all friends. And then you see that everybody's so different, but everybody's working together. And it's not what you hear sometimes, you know, that it's like, you know, everybody's like on their own. No, a movie set proves that we are all able to go in the same direction for the same goal. And it's maybe very naive, but I just see it as a proof. It happens.
That's true.
And in theory, there would be enemies, but on our crew, they're all allies and friends and family, and they care about each other. And on the other hand, movies is something very empathetic. You know, you cannot make a movie or watch a movie if you don't have empathy. And empathy is something that you talk a lot about. And it's just crazy that everybody in the world, no matter where you are, what you are, you have empathy for this character that you don't know. It's a character you don't know. It may be also a fictitious character, a character from another planet, from another era, and you feel for that character. You fall in love maybe for that character. You hope that the character is gonna make it. You're gonna cry if that character dies, and that's crazy. That proves that movies make people human, and that empathy exists through movies. So that's why in this very childish way, we think movies save the world.
No, it's not childish, man. You guys, I feel the same way. The reason why I started doing podcasts or media or videos and all of that was because I felt that media changes our vocabulary around an issue, around a theme. Like when you were able to show a man's vulnerability, like now it's like, oh, wait a minute, I think I'm Mike Lowry, but he's growing when he's doing that. Oh, maybe I should do that, right? It's like we mirror what we see in media all the time. And I feel like media is always going to lead the way because more people are going to watch movies than read books. More people are going to watch movies than come to a course or a workshop or a seminar. It's always going to be the same way. And therefore, I'm so happy that people like you are making movies.
Thank you.
Because I feel like our faith is in good place. Like, you know, we need storytellers who want to tell those stories, who want to have deeper messages, but in a smart and entertaining way. And I think you guys do it beautifully. So we're going to do what we always do on the podcast, as you know it, because you listen.
Yes.
We've added another segment recently, which I don't think you would have heard yet because it's in the new episode. It's called Fill in the Blanks.
Oh, fill in the blanks.
So I read a sentence and you both have to fill in the rest of the sentence. So we'll go both of you. Whoever goes first. I don't mind. You decide who goes first. Okay. Being a director is similar to?
Being a captain of a boat.
Exactly.
And sometimes it can be the Titanic.
Okay, good.
Oh, exactly.
No, you can't say that. No, you can't say it.
Being a director is
Similar to?
is pretending you know it.
Okay, good answer. A great movie starts with?
A great title.
Okay.
Oh, I would say a killer opening scene.
Okay, good. All right. The best way to manage actors is
Being a psychiatrist, a lawyer, a politician, a diplomat. Yeah.
All the skills.
going to be everything. All right. There is no film without
Empathy.
Oh, nice.
Camera.
All right, good. All right. Working with a partner is
Love.
Riding together, dying together.
nice. I like you guys. All right. The one film I wish I made is
Star Wars.
Well, there's a lot, but I would say
But you know, Star Wars is such a big universe.
just between us, Star Wars is like the Greeks had their mythology. We have Star Wars. The new Greek mythology. Just between it became a religion even now. So
I did.
It came out of one mind,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
the whole universe it's created is unbelievable. It's infinite.
I would say Jurassic Park.
Oh,
yeah.
Park, yeah.
it's a good
Definitely.
movie.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park's a good movie. All right. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith are both
Brothers for life.
For life.
nice. When I first started directing, I wish I knew
That no matter how big the movie is gonna be, that movie is not necessarily gonna make you happy or bring you happiness. It's gonna be something else.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, man.
And no matter how big the budget is, there is never enough money, never enough time.
Nice. That's good answers. These are great. My proudest moment has to be.
Yeah, lots, but I think being able to show the movie to my dad, basically, to have him in. He was sitting in the theater next to you.
I know. It's so nice to meet him.
Yeah, and he knew also his wife is a big fan of you, so you're a secret fan. You're secret fans of you, but being able, he's there.
Yeah.
You see the movie, and it's the first. Maybe also the first time he met Will Smith, because the very first single I got was Miami by Will Smith. And he met him for the first time in Miami.
Oh, wow.
My proudest moment is that I always kept going.
Yeah.
Kept going. Yeah.
Nice.
That it's the movie is made. It's just
Amazing.
my proudest thing.
I love it, man. All right. These are your final five, your fast five, which you guys know about. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, if someone gave you $300 million in funding, what movie would you make and who would you cast?
Well, a new Star Wars.
New universe.
Something that's not based on any books. It's just like George Lucas. You come up with something new, and then you have nerds doing fan fiction and making war with each other,
clothes
on Twitter.
and toys.
Yeah.
And it goes on generation to generation.
It just created like a monster. Like George Lucas, he created Frankenstein, basically, in the movie world. So that.
I love it. That's a good answer. Okay. Let's do this question. What advice would you give to young filmmakers out there?
You got to stay true to yourself and do something with your heart.
Yeah.
Because if you make something just for the sake of it, so just for the money, you may earn a lot of money, but you're gonna lose a year of mindfulness, of your soul and all of that. So it's got to be something true to your soul.
Yeah.
Something that feels the soul.
And be prepared to have a lot of pain. Just you're gonna fall a lot, and be prepared to. Don't be scared to make mistakes. Because making mistakes, that's when you learn.
I love it. It's good answers. All right. Question number 3, your favorite movie and why?
My favorite is JFK by Oliver Stone. Because it's, I was very young. I was 9 years old when I saw that. And it's a historical movie about something that really happened, about conspiracy theories, and it makes you think. And it's a movie that has an impact also in real life, because in '92 the Congress had to release check out, we didn't kill JFK, okay? But if you can make a movie that has an impact in society in real life, that is really, that's what we want to do. So JFK.
Yeah, for me it's a French movie called La Haine, and it's about the banlieues, the ghetto in France, in Paris, and for me, because I grew up with Hollywood movies, and this was the first time I saw a movie with Moroccan or a black guy from like the same world as me, and it was shot in a way, it was like cinema, it was like in a Hollywood way it was shot, and then I understood that maybe I can do that too. Maybe that made me believe that I could do a movie. And I think that's the most beautiful thing you can do as a filmmaker or any artist, is if you can inspire somebody to do it. That's what Lion did for me.
Awesome. Question number 4 out of 5. What's happening with Beverly Hills Cop 4 and Adam Sandler? What's happening? I saw the story.
So when we didn't get Bad Boys, we got Beverly Hills Cop 4. So we thought this is going to be the movie we're going to make in 2016. Didn't happen. Then Bad Boys came. And because Bad Boys worked out, now we got Beverly Hills Cop 4. Woo! And we're working on it.
Yeah, we're working amazing.
On it. Eddie Murphy.
Murphy's the godfather.
So the way we look at Will Smith, Will Smith looks the same way at Eddie Murphy. For him, it's like, it's the Don, you know, and making a movie with a legend like that would be next level. And Adam Sandler, he's just the coolest guy ever, sweetest guy ever. And he said, hey, if we find something to work together, let's do it. You know?
So what he did in Uncut Gems was so unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he has so much to offer.
Yeah. I love it. All right, fifth and final question.
All right.
So we can stop being in this sauna right now.
I love
sauna. But Dr. Daniel Amen, who was on before, he told me that this is good for our brains.
Okay.
He said, so that's
Thank
why
you for
I'm using
that wisdom.
No, I'm just giving an excuse for why I'm
thank God.
saying me and you are like, okay. Fifth and final question. What is the biggest lesson you've learned in the last 12 months for you? Doesn't have to be professional or whatever.
Oh yeah, one.
Wow.
When I'm in a meeting or I have a good idea, somebody says something good or bad, or I think it's good or bad, I gotta say, let me think about it. Because I didn't do that enough. And when you're in Belgium with a small movie, your reaction or your decisions don't have that much consequence as a $100 million movie. And whether I was enthusiastic for something or I hated something, I should have just said first, let me think about it before I say, oh no. So that's what I learned the most.
Nice.
Let me think about it.
For me, it's let me say it. It's sometimes I'm in a meeting and I'm thinking something and I'm like, I think I have to. Say this, but I'm not gonna say it. Right. And that makes a big difference because sometimes it's too late and then you say, I had to say it. So don't regret, say it, don't be afraid.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to learn that. Don't be afraid of saying what you think.
And in the worst meetings that we had is because he didn't say it and I didn't say, let me think about it. Then we crashed.
I love it, man. I love it. You guys are the best. Honestly, this is the most fun I've ever had. Like, this is so good. Like,
Thank you.
I could sit and talk to you guys for hours. Like, I'm genuinely so excited to see the movies you guys are going to create.
Thank you.
I want to serve and support in any way that I can. I'm here for you guys if you ever need me.
Can't wait to read your book, man.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll definitely get you guys copies. But yeah, don't literally, you guys can call me anytime I can help either of you with anything. And just, yeah, I'm so proud of seeing what you guys are doing. And I know that there are so many people out there who are listening and watching that can be inspired by you guys. And I can only hope that you continue to be the same way, because you guys are great just the way you are, man. And
Thank you, bro. Give me a hug.
Absolutely.
Big love, big love.
I just want to say, Jay, thank you for being in our lives.
Dude, man, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. Everyone who's been listening and watching, go and follow these guys on Instagram. Go and find them. We will tag them into all the posts. Go and follow their work. Go and support everything they do. They've got so many more amazing stories to tell. They're just getting started. Please, please, please go and give them all your love and all your support and anything that they said, because they're so humble that they don't know it. They dropped so many lessons today. They dropped so many messages today. They dropped so many beautiful insights today. I want you to share those insights. I want you to tag all three of us so we can see it, mainly so that they can see it, because I want them to realize how many beautiful lessons they're sharing with the world. So thank you for watching On Purpose. Thank you, Adil and Bilal, for